Are you seriously going to defend Linkle of all characters? Let's make Link, but as a girl, and with a generic and uninspired backstory. Does this seriously appeal to people?
Maybe she's a little uninspired, but her design is great. She's a cute character with a cute design. Hyrule Warriors is a hack-and-slash game that you turn your brain off to play and enjoy. Linkle doesn't need an amazing backstory or character motivation. She just needs to look good, and she serves that function perfectly well. She has got to be at least an A tier.
Absolutely not. If you actually think that thing is cute, you got to get your eyes checked. There's at least 5 characters in that game that are way more attractive.
Guys, for the love of
Linkle.
God, I'm going to turn into a lifeless husk by the time you finish arguing about Linkle. Let's just drop her in B and move on to a character from a game people have actually played.
That's fine.
I think she should go higher than B, but this isn't a hill I'm willing to die on, so whatever.
Next up, let's talk about these 2 characters, Cremia and Malon. Who's the better waifu? Personally, I'd vote for Cremia, but both are pretty great.
Cremia, are you for real? Malon is 100 times better, and besides, Cremia just stole Malon's entire look, so Malon should win by default for being first.
I'm going to have to disagree pretty strongly on this one. Malon is pretty damn boring, just like the rest of that sleepy game made for sleepy gamers like you. Cremia actually gets some character depth, unlike Malon. That little snippet of a conversation you get during the wagon ride is more than Malon gets across any Zelda game, but especially OOT.
Who cares about that crap? This is a waifu list, and Malon is obviously the better waifu. She's kind, and hearing her singing when you return to Lon Lon Ranch is a constant feeling of comfort in the otherwise dark and depressing world. Maybe if this was Malon versus Romani, it would be a close call.
Why would we put Romani on a waifu list, you lolicon-loving son of a bitch?
Joe, I'm going to ignore that statement. Honestly, I think Malon and Cremia are pretty much on the same level. Let's just put them both in A tier and call it even.
Yeah, fine, whatever. I did like it when Cremia put Link's face in her...
Don't finish that sentence, Joe. Barack, let's move on quickly.
All right, let's talk about Link's childhood friend from Twilight Princess, Ilia.
I have to say A tier. She's kind, cute, and she has a lot of interesting character moments.
Interesting? If amnesia wasn't a played-out trope back then, it sure as hell is now. Besides, relative to the other waifus from this game, she's just not as good. I don't understand how you could say A tier with such confidence.
I think you meant to say a lack of interesting character moments, Joe. And I'd like to talk to your optometrist because I can't believe you could call Ilia cute. She's a 4 out of 10 at best.
4 out of 10? Are you sure you weren't looking at a mirror? Ilia has a cute smile, tomboyish hair, and you know what the best thing of all is? No, shoes. Need I say more?
Yeah, you do need to say more. How the hell is no shoes a positive trait?
Are you going to tell me that young girl's hair isn't the only thing you like to sniff, Creepy Joe?
Don't kink shame me, Jack.
Oh my God, I'm going to be sick.
Are you really surprised at this point, Barack?
Whatever, let's just put her in B tier and move on then.
That's still too high.
I don't care if it's too high. I can't talk about this character anymore. I suppose we'll continue the TP train. Let's talk about Midna next. I wasn't feeling too strongly on her for a while, but when she changes into her true form, ooh, baby. Now I see why people like her so much.
Yeah, her true form is pretty hot, but honestly, the imp form is what does it for me.
Oh, not this shit again.
She's got such squishy-looking thighs, and I bet you could hold her with both your hands and just go to town.
Let's not get too graphic here, Joe, for fuck's sake. Keep your fantasies to yourself.
Of course, doing that with a tiny girl is the only thing Creepy Joe over here can think about.
Oh, shut up, man. You know I'm not the only one who thinks Imp Midna is hot. I bet your ass has seen that woozy SFM video. No way you can say I'm wrong after watching that.
Who's Woozy SFM?
Barack, save your innocent soul and don't look it up.
Oh, cut the crap, Jack.
Everyone just shut up. I'm putting Midna in A tier for her true form alone. Is that fine?
Yeah, all right, let's move on.
That's acceptable, I guess.
I guess we'll talk about Agitha next.
Truly a good waifu from this game, I have to say at least A tier. But personally, I'd put her in S.
Agitha, are you for real? She's a weirdo bug girl.
That's what makes her unique and special. Her design is so bizarre that it's actually good, and she's actually cute, unlike your shitty waifus.
Trump, I don't mean to burst your bubble, but isn't Agitha supposed to be around 10 years old?
What? Are you fucking serious? God damn these Japanese games, you can never tell the ages of these fucking characters. Well, thanks for ruining that character for me, Barack. Put her ass in D tier.
Now, hold up. I think she could go in at least B tier.
Can it, Joe?
As the one in control of this list, I'm going to have to veto that, Joe. Into D tier she goes. All right, I guess we can do a 3-for-1 special. Let's talk about Din, Nehru, and Furore. I think Nehru is definitely the hottest of the 3. I think she goes into the S tier, Din goes into the A tier, and Furore goes into the C tier.
I can agree with Furore going into the C tier, but I think you might be a little confused here. Nehru and Din should swap places. Din is obviously the better waifu here.
I don't know why everyone hates on Furore so much. I think she's pretty darn cute, and better than both Din and Nehru.
Why am I not surprised?
You better be capping, Joe. Furore has a whack-ass hairstyle, and her face isn't very attractive. Not to mention her color palette is easily the worst of the 3. Meanwhile, Nehru has a great and pleasing color palette, her hairstyle is great, and she has a sexy, mature face.
I agree wholeheartedly on Furore. But there's no way you can tell me that Nehru is hotter than Din. Din has that fierce and confident expression that oozes sexiness. I'm not saying Nehru is ugly by any means, but Din is the obvious winner here. Not to mention in Minish Cap, Din's charm gives you a boost to your attack, while Nehru's just increases your defense. I don't think it needs to be said, but dealing more damage is obviously better than increasing your defense. Just don't get hit, and have fairies in case you do.
You're the only one who cares about Minish Cap here. Besides, Faror's charm gives you attack and defense. The best of both worlds.
The increase isn't as big in either one of those as the increase you get from the other charms. Besides, boosting your defense in the first place is pointless.
Whatever, anyway, you're both wrong as hell. Faror's hairstyle is unique, and it's part of her charm. Her face is cute as hell, too, don't even cap. The only thing Din and Nehru have over Faror is the fact that you can see their toes. And that fact alone bumps them up to at least B tier, but Faror is certified S tier material.
I'm going to hurl if I have to think about your foot fetish anymore, Joe. Please don't ruin more characters for me. I'll put Faror in B tier since you feel so strongly about it, but no higher. Din and Nehru are going into A tier, though. You cool with that, Don?
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Whatever, you're both just a bunch of haters.
Moving on, what about Hilda? I think S tier, to be honest.
Agreed, S tier.
Yeah, S tier. I'm glad we could all agree on something.
All right, great. Hilda truly is a Zelda princess done well.
Yeah, and she's got that whole goth look going. Beautiful, so beautiful.
Damn straight.
All right, let's talk about Ruto next. I think this is a pretty easy D tier, maybe C tier if I had a few beers to drink.
I'm going to have to disagree with you here, Barack. I think Ruto is actually a pretty good waifu. At least A tier.
For real, no cap, Jack? I didn't know you were based like that.
What can I say? She goes kind of hard, not going to lie.
I cannot believe my fucking ears. She's a goddamn fish, people. She's got a whack-ass, big-ass head with nasty as hell fishy eyes on the sides of it. How could you possibly find her attractive? Especially you, Donald.
Hold up, let Donnie cook.
It's not always about appearance, Barack. She's loyal, and she's got that tsundere vibe going for her, which I kind of dig. And she's not as ugly as you make her out to be. Her face is actually kind of attractive in that weird, yet exotically alluring kind of way.
Imagine how slimy she must be, given her fish-like nature. She reminds me of Vaporeon in that way. Speaking of which, did you guys know that in terms of...
Don't say it, Joe.
That's a good point you raised there, Joe. I didn't even think about that.
God help me.
Yeah, and listen, not to sound like a broken record, but my favorite part about Ruto? That's right, no shoes. And I bet those feet are as slimy as the rest of her.
I can't fucking take it anymore. This idea was a goddamn mistake. I didn't know I was hanging out with a bunch of freaks. I'm out of here.
Awkward.
Fuck you, Joe.